Another morning with Python. I keep pushing my project forward. So my movie collection database code looks like this. It displays the menu, and for now the only thing that works in the menu is Q. That's fine. Let's go back to the code and do some reordering. So first of all, let's go back to the end of the code and where my code section is. So I'm gonna actually change this a little bit. Line 90 to 97, delete. I'm going to do this comment. The first thing I want to do once the program runs, the first thing I want to do is to populate my movies list with what is found in the JSON file already populated, what is saved already. The function that does it is called open collection. So let's see that open collection function tries to open JSON file. If it doesn't exist, it's gonna create one here. So if the error is found, the file does not exist, the system is going to open new file for me and dump empty list, because when program runs, the movie list is empty into it. So it's going to dump empty list into it. If the JSON file does exist, if movies have already been saved, the file is going to get open and append each element, each movie information into the list. If the file does exist, it's going to append each element from that file, which is a dictionary, and each dictionary is information about a single movie. It's going to append this to the movie list up the top. So the first thing in my code I want to do, in fact, is, where's my code? I want to open the collection. Open collection. Create open JSON file. I'm gonna say here open collection. The second thing I want to do is to display that menu that I see on the right, which actually consists of two steps. One is to clear the screen, and then it's to display the menu. Now, I already created code for that, because the code that clears the menu is here. OS system clear and print menu. So these two lines are going to be the ones, and also I'm taking user choice here, select option or Q for quit, and the system expects the user to provide an option from the menu. That is the if statement. So let's just do that in one function. I'm gonna make this a function. However, the Q should be in my kind of last resort option. So I'm going to change that into elif statement and if statement. The first, maybe I'll tackle the first one, display. That's mistyped. Let's go back and correct that now. Display. That's not display. Okay. So here, my first if statement will be if menu choice is equal to 1, and remember the input function always takes a string as user's input, not the number. Even if I type the number, it's still a string, seen as a string. Then I'm gonna say display movie titles. However, that function doesn't even exist yet. I'm gonna create one in a second. So this is going to be the whole. So section lines 97 through 104 is going to be just one function. Let's make it a function then. Display menu. Now we need to create indentation here. So Control V in Vim, visual mode, up to this line, insert 4 spaces, and that's the function. Now I'm going to move this function to the very top. So line 96 through 105. So lines 96 through 105. Yank it. That's copy basically, so I don't lose this. I'm going to go to the top, and in the function definitions, I'm going to just paste it in. Let's do space here. So at this point, the queue for quit should still work. And if I hit 1, it's going to create an error because there is no function display movie titles created yet. Let's test for quit for now. But for obviously I need to go back here and remove those lines. So lines now 107 through 116. Delete. Okay. So we'll keep that space because we'll tackle the next thing in the next video. So now at this point it should work if I run the code. Menu this is being displayed, so that worked. But it's not exactly the way I want it. So first we open the collection, and then we go display in the code, display menu. So save. I didn't save it before, that's why it didn't work. Let's clear the screen and do it again. Yeah, the movie is displayed. So hopefully the movie list is already populated with open collection. And the second line says display menu, and that line, if we go to the top, says function. Clear the screen, print menu, take menu choice. For now, the only choice I can use is quit, because if I use 1 or any other number for that matter, it's gonna crash because those options don't exist just yet. So if I type in quit, works. Okay, so let's go ahead and now create display movie titles function so I can use number 1. So I want to display if the first line did work in the code, which is open collection, my movie list should be populated with what was found in JSON file. If that is the case, I should be able to display the titles of the movie. Currently I have, I believe, 2 titles in that JSON file. So I'm going to create now display menu, open collection. Let's squeeze that in here. The order doesn't really matter, but for my sanity's sake, so I'm going to keep this in order. Definition display movie titles. This function will take no arguments. So colon docstring shows all movie titles in the database, JSON database. So docstring is just like a little help for somebody who's reading help on this function. We'll tackle that later. And the first thing I want to do in this function, I want to do print and do something like this, maybe new line character, so it leaves a space up the top. Movie titles found, just movie titles, maybe for short, movie titles. And I'm gonna close the bracket here, and I'm gonna say print maybe something like this. Actually, I don't need a dot here. You can actually make it even movie titles like this. And I'm gonna close this one so it matches the movie titles. And now I need to, so once the program runs, the movie list is populated, so all the elements are found in the list movies. So I need to now iterate or loop through those movies using for loop. So if the option number 1 is selected, the movie list is already ready to display some stuff. I want to display just movie titles. So how do we now loop through element of the list? Now, movies is just a list of elements, so for whatever name, in my case it's going to be movie because the movies list contains movies. For movie in movies, and that's the name of the list, I could say now print movie, but this is not what I'm going to do, because that would print a whole dictionary every time. So each dictionary is a movie information, and it would just print dictionary after dictionary after dictionary. No, I just want movie titles out of that dictionary of each element of the movie list. So how do I do that? I'm going to remove that line, and since each element, which is now represented by the movie variable, is key value pair, I need to iterate through those. So for key and value in movie, that's each element of the list is a movie, and I need to say items. That's how I loop through dictionary. We've done this so far. And I want to say if, now this is the critical part, if k, which is the key of that element, is equal to title, that's how I have this in my dictionary, print its value. So let's test it. So display movie titles is the name of my function. Now if I display menu, if I go for option number 1, display movie titles here, it should jump to that function and do the job. Let's see if that works. Let's save the file and run the code. Okay, let's display. So option number 1, display movie titles. There you go. So obviously at this point there's only 2 movies, so it displayed the header, which I wanted right here, displayed the line under the header, and display the 2 movies that are already found and populated from the JSON file. Of course, at the very end it's asking me provide the following information. A reason for that is, if we go back here to the code, it's because I have these lines, add movie, save collection, and that. If I don't want to do that now, let's just comment this out for now. So I'm gonna say maybe v, and I'm gonna comment them out, insert comment here. It'll just stop at this point the whole program. Let's run it again. Option number 1, display movie titles, and that's it. Program ends, because there's no other option in the code to continue. So in the next video, because this one is going long now, I'm going to create option number 4, which allows me to add another movie to the database.